Yeah, so hi, my name is Alex and I come from Serbia. I'm one of the international students over here, and I happen to be living in America for 2 years now. I went to high school back in St. Paul last year, so I quite know about the cultural differences between America and Serbia. Yeah, my home country is Serbia, and it's located in southeastern Europe, in the Balkans. Some people might know it as Yugoslavia, as that was the former name, and which fell apart due to civil war, and now it's only Serbia, a small, tiny country. The most important ritual in Serbia, I would say, is the family saint celebration. It symbolizes the date when your family was Christianized back in the 9th century or 10th century, and it usually involves your closest family, your relatives, your friends, and it's a big feast celebrating your saint. For example, mine is Saint Nicholas, and it's in December, and we have a big feast, everybody gets together. It's a form of Thanksgiving in America. I would say that many of them conflicted with America. There are probably some which might include, say consuming alcohol, for example. Since in Serbia it's actually pretty normal to do that before you're even 18, and then here it's considered like a big negative thing until you're 21, and it's a negative thing after you're 21. So that might be one of them, but as far as I'm concerned, I didn't have to adapt that much, and I like it pretty much here. It might be. I met a lot of Americans who thought of Serbians as savages and very belligerent people. I think that is quite misunderstood. I know we had some bad history, some wars and bad stuff like that, but actually, we're truly not like that, So, in order to break down those stereotypes, I think people should inform themselves more about Serbia, meet more Serbian people, and or even research celebrities like, let's say, #1 tennis player Novak Djokovic is from Serbia, and I would say he's a good representative of what a typical Serb is nowadays. Yeah, there actually is. We had in Serbia's history there was a lot of Turkish influence since Turkish Empire was quite close to Serbia. So there's quite a lot of Muslims around, and that has actually been the biggest conflict in our recent history. The Muslims in Bosnia actually rebelled against Serbians, so that's how actually Yugoslavia fell apart in 1990s, and currently we have a big problem with the province of Kosovo, which is mainly Muslim, but it's a Serbian territory, So there is quite some conflict, and as you go towards south of Serbia, you can find more Muslims, and they're Serbians are pretty tolerant, so they would let them in, let them stay there. But as long as I remember, it's we've had bad experiences with that, and we should know better now. I would say not as much as in the United States. Religion is a big thing about Serbia, but Christianity is not the same like in the United States. It's our Christianity is more about our values. So, for example, not a lot of people go to church every Sunday. Just people adopt the values that church gives us, and I would say it's pretty much separate from politics. And I would say I like our church, my church, better than my politicians and my government. Yeah, I would say that I do not consider myself religious, as I have quite different beliefs than any other religion in this world, but I have researched it, and I know all there is to know about Serbian Christianity, and I know plenty about American Christianity. Also, I have attended I have attended Sunday church with my host family last year, and I would say that it seemed pretty grotesque to me, and it seemed like a joke, you know. It was more of a theatrical way of approaching religion, since I'm used to the Serbian Christianity, where our churches are centuries and centuries old. Some are even 1,000 years old, and our preaching in our churches is quite different. It's traditional Christianism, the way it was 2,000 years ago, actually. I would say no, since I've been living in Minnesota, and Minnesota is known for Minnesota nice, so people are not open on that issue. But I have had some issues where I would tell people on the street that I'm from Serbia, and they would be like, so like how does it feel to be from a country that has committed so many crimes or killed so many people, you know? And I would just keep quiet. I would just say like, yeah, it feels pretty awesome. I'm proud of my country, you know, and they should research more about it, you know. And they would find out that actually is not true, that those stereotypes that we are savagers or that we are belligerent people. And yeah, but all in all, I would say that I'm not stereotyped as much as some of the minorities in the United States. Oh, I would say the country is pretty much divided. There is quite a lot of people who hate America, who can't even stand the notion of America when somebody says something. But also, like, I don't look at it that way, because that was just a government issue, you know. That was just that was not the whole nation of America. And even if some of the Americans think it was right, they've probably been manipulated by the propaganda and stuff. I believe that Americans are good people too. It's just the big politics that we don't understand that interfered in my country. Then that's why I didn't find it really hard to come here. I actually wanted this really bad. I wanted this adventure. I wanted to live in another country. And yeah, and I would like to quote the Serbian tennis player, like I mentioned before. He said war for him meant no school and more tennis. That's a pretty positive way to remember it, and I remember it also for no school during those times. That's a very tough question. While I was back home, I was definitely for the EU, but coming over here and getting different perspectives and learning more about politics actually makes me rethink that position. And I just don't know. I guess it would be beneficial to some extent for Serbia to join the EU due to the economic opportunities, and due to that the whole Europe is getting together, and we just can't survive on our own. Like, if everybody gets together in the European Union and we are like, no, we don't want to join, you know, that I feel like that would leave us secluded from all the benefits and all the trade. Don't believe everything in the media. Google it, do your own research, or contact me, contact somebody else from Serbia. They will tell you a completely different story than of that your media serves you. So be a critical thinker, have a mind of your own. Don't follow the others, don't be just another sheep in the fold.